and TNC still saving their final pick for mid. Or it could be Morphling mid. They've still got really a lot of options in terms of how they set their cores. The one thing I worry about for them a little bit is they don't really have any way to structure the team fight. They don't have anyone who's going to be going in first, kind of to provide vision, like someone to just tank on the front lines. So that might need to be what comes in this last pick, because it's super easy for Boom ID to structure their team fight. The Shadow Shaman and the Mirana just hang back behind the Brewmaster and the Spirit Breaker, and they're going to be just fine. So, yeah, we will have to see. Oh, and for anyone wondering, this is always interesting to me. I don't know if it's interesting to you guys, but the game kind of even starts before the draft, right, with the coin flip. TNC won the flip. They chose Radiant, and Boom ID ended up taking second pick. So for anyone keeping track of that, that's how the selection priority ended up going. Always kind of interesting. I feel like a lot of teams have been picking Radiant so far on this patch, though that could mostly be due to the fact that it's not really clear. Like, everybody has different priorities in terms of first pick, so I don't know if people are actually prioritizing first pick all that much, and then if people don't get side, because it seems like people are more comfortable playing on Radiant. I also think Radiant is just better. I think they have a better safe lane and a better off lane at the moment. Then it might be worth it going for second pick just to have this last overall pick in the draft. But we get TA banned out. That would seem to suggest that Puck is going mid. Dragon Knight, however, is the ban from Boom. So they seem to be thinking that maybe Puck is in one of the side lanes. And TNC are going to go for a Timbersaw. Okay. Interesting. We've been seeing this Timbersaw last pick crop up quite a little bit in this Southeast Asia qualifier. Certainly quite good against the Brewmaster and the Spirit Breaker. Is going to help kind of control the pace of the game. TNC have quite good deep push now that they've got the Timber, between the Timber and the Puck. So if they're worried about getting run over by Boom ID, that's certainly good. And I like the Timber and the Puck as heroes that don't really have to worry so much about the Spirit Breaker. And Boom ID going to willingly pick the Slark into the Timbersaw and the Puck. I don't know. I agree that Slark is kind of strong at the moment, but this seems like a very brave pick to me. In some ways, the Slark is good against the Puck and I guess the Morphling as well, with the new leash mechanics preventing their mobility spells. That's the case for all three of these cores, but at the same time, there's a lot of AoE magical damage. And the new Dream Coil is also quite strong against Slark, though he can... as we saw yesterday, if you play it right, you can just willingly break the Dream Coil stun as you're Dark Pacting, and you don't really have to care about it too much other than the damage. So, something to look out for here.
10 seconds remaining.
But, very interesting. Boom ID, good enough at hitting buildings. I think Makoto was playing pretty well yesterday. Looking forward to seeing his Mirana this game. It is going to be FBZ on the Brewmaster. The Spirit Breaker has been reasonably popular in the last couple of days. We saw Tigers were playing it. They're now eliminated, but 1437 playing it in their opening match here in the qualifiers. And I think there was even, there was a Febby Spirit Breaker yesterday as well. So looks like the Spirit Breaker is seeing a little bit of play. It does put decent pressure on Morphling, which is good. Okay, so yeah, Cuckoo Puck, Gabby on the Timbersaw, Amel on the Morphling. Still, I guess we have to see how they're going to set their lanes here. I imagine Tim's on the Tusk just going to be rotating around quite a bit. Ninja Boogie probably finding a lane to hunker down in and just try and get some pulls and variants going. But let's get into it. Let's get hype.
I almost trust you.
Okay, let's see these inventory setups. So, all right, looks like Timber's playing the side lane. Armel's going to be playing mid as the Morphling, and we've also got Puck playing a side lane. So, Tim's and Cuckoo, I think this is about the strongest lane that TNC could put together as far as laning pressure with the Puck and the Tusk. So it looks like that's going to be their attempted answer to the Slark, though Boom ID seem like they might already be anticipating this, and they're going to be sending FBZ on the Brewmaster over towards top. Mirana, as expected, is going to be playing on the mid lane, but they are going to be trying to dodge away from this lane. Kind of dodging into the Timbersaw. I do think they have the potential to kill him down here. There's just so much damage and lockdown between the Shadow Shaman and the Spirit Breaker. But it looks like Gabby's going to be kind of left out on an island here. And we'll see once TNC scout these lanes if they choose to rotate it, perhaps. I think they want the Timbersaw. That's the other thing. They're not only dodging the Slark away from the Puck and the Tusk, but they're also trying to keep the Brewmaster away from the Timbersaw. Because I can't imagine the Brewmaster wants to be laned up against the Timber, really. Not a whole lot that he can do against the reactive armor, and he is a strength hero, so that Whirling Death is going to suck for him. Alright, TNC just going to grab the 2 top bounties, Boom ID grabbing the bottom 2. Jokum's already got some Boots of Speed picked up for himself here. And I guess we'll have to see how this block goes at mid. It's what, 54 damage versus 68, so a little bit of advantage in the Morphling's favor. Tims and Cuckoo tag team already skilled up, just looking for somebody on this creep wave, but FBZ not really doing anything. Cuckoo actually already plinking down the creeps a little bit. Okay. Maybe they're going to force this under the tower. Could be an option. Go for a dive, maybe try and force a TP. Because if they're the ones that manage to force the TP first, then they're going to be safe to rotate and come put pressure on this Slark and get the lane matchups that they were looking for originally. Gabby gets a little bit, Ninja Boogie's already down here, so just 2-1-2 for TNC so far. But the wave bounces right off the tower, and that should mean that Boom get it back into a decent position. Breaker, okay, gonna come charging in. They're looking towards Ninja Boogie. Gonna start getting these stacks up. Gabby doing his best to defend, but it looks like the Silencer is gonna end up being your first blood here. And that's already 1 permanent agility stack for good old Slark. And Ninja Boogie just getting dragged out from under the tower with the creep wave positioning, and I guess not knowing where the Spirit Breaker was playing. At the same time, Tims is completely punching FBZ out of the lane. And it looks like TNC have managed to do a similar thing up top here, just resetting the lane position, making sure that they have room to chase FBZ, though he's still a little bit closer to his tower. That's cute, thinking about making something happen at mid. Very even on the CS so far. Nothing too shocking. Probably going to be seeing a bunch of Wraith Bands coming out. Yeah, 2 Wraith Bands apiece queued up. Very much the standard build at the moment. FBZ taking quite a bit of damage up top. But not in too much danger. Still has plenty of regen for now. But Cuckoo is finding good farm. And I think that is going to be a little bit worrying for Boom. It does seem like quite a good puck game. And again, I'm just unsure about picking the Slark into these matchups. And, Boom are going to be rotating the Spirit Breaker up here now. Cuckoo. Alright, manages to jaunt himself away. He's going to be just fine. Did take quite a bit of damage just off the Drunken Brawler there, it looks like. Do they have a salve or anything for him? Yeah, he does actually already have a salve. Okay, so he's going to be fine. They forced the Spirit Breaker up here, so Gabby can feel a little bit more confident down bottom. He's actually not going for any points in the reactive armor this game. Just an all-out damage build for him. Whirling Death and the Timber Chain so far. They're jumping forward onto FBZ over at top, but it's just a little bit of harassment. And mid lane, very slight CS gap starting to open up, but I mean, it's 1 creep in Armel's favor right now. Mirana kind of getting the better of the harassment trade, but Armel does still have a salve, so he's not that far behind. But for now, everybody just seems to content to kind of hunker down in their lane. Spirit Breaker going to be running a couple little pulls here. Does he get the whole thing successfully? Yes, he does. All right. Really needs that level 2 to pick out the Greater Bash. Having a bit of a slow start here. Slark already level 3 down bottom. In terms of the overall game here, I'm not actually sure who I favor as the game goes on. There's pretty good scaling potential on both sides. I might even... the late game looks okay for Boom. Oh, FBZ getting gone on here. He's already used the Drunken Brawler, so he's just getting auto-attacked down. But the charge comes through, and the TP Shackle. They control both of them. The shards will manage to finish him off. Cuckoo jaunts a little bit further to safety. It looked good for Boom ID, but looks like they're only going to end up getting the one return kill here, and it's only on the support Tims. Last auto attack from Jokum brings him down. And that does mean that they forced both of the supports up the top lane, however, and that shouldn't be good news for Fervian down here at bottom. It's almost got level 4. I mean, once he has level 6, he'll be able to sustain a little bit better, but Gabby not really struggling at all in terms of CS, and actually all 3 of TNC's core doing pretty well across the board. Armel really wants this regen rune, but looks like he might end up paying for it with his life. The Mirana doesn't have any mana, so they're just running at Armel here. No bash from Kezcute. Armel getting a little bit lucky, and is just gonna... What is he doing? Morphing down. Try and jungle a little bit, and then pop the shrine. It's up in 10 seconds. Yeah, it looks like that's kind of the plan. Needs to be a little bit careful about these ogres. Yeah, have another charge heading over towards top. 5-minute bounty rune's about to spawn. Tims does get the bounty, but I don't know if he's going to get out of here safely. Puts down the shards. That's going to force the Spirit Breaker to run around. They're still managing to slow him down. They're going to go for the bounty up on the high ground, but both Boom supports running for that. So they're actually just going to let Tims get out of this one, or maybe not. They get the ward up on the high ground. Shackle coming through. Now the charge. Tims doesn't have the snowball, and he will be finished off. Alright, still got the kill. I think they've kind of given away that there's a ward up here, so that'll probably be dewarded pretty quickly, but still nice that they managed to grab the bounty and the kill. A little bit of a non-standard build from Armel this game. No points in the waveform just yet, instead opting for 2 points in Adaptive Strike. I'm so used to the previous patch that I just feel like everybody is such a low level. Part of that is that the experience is getting split really heavily right now. Everyone's just kind of rotating around. That's cute. Runs over to mid. Radiant scan reveals that there's somebody over here, but they don't know exactly who. And Armel just keeping his cool, not doing anything suspicious. They're going to be looking for this weird angle on the charge through, but it's actually heading over towards the Ninja Boogie silencer. Getting chased down by this hasted Shadow Shaman. I don't know if they even need any damage from the Spirit Breaker to get this. The vision is more than enough, and that's a killing spree for this Shadow Shaman. He's already got Arcane Boots 6 minutes into this game. He's only got 5 CS, but he is having a grand old time. I think he did start with boots, so not a huge deal, but still. More rotations coming through. Charge is there. Can they land the arrow? That's the big question. It does manage to connect, but Armel already morphing up some strength, so it looks like he's going to be okay. Ninja Boogie is here to drive them back up top. Knowing that the supports are mid, they are going to make a go onto FBZ. A tag team helping them out, but the duration is now worn out, and FBZ will be able to just walk this one off. Drunken Brawler helping out immensely there. Gabby does finally go back for a couple points in the reactive armor here. And Slark being hyper aggressive on him. Are there going to be any TPs to help that TNC here? Gabby just turns around and fights. He is actually just fine. Nobody... I think TNC probably... Do they even have TPs? Yeah, Tim's had a TP. No TP for Ninja Boogie. Looks like he just came up top. But yeah, still looking towards FBZ once again. I think he's holding the Drunken Brawler until the tag team gets popped, but they'll take in plenty of damage. Alright, there's the Drunken Brawler running towards Cuckoo. Jokum's up here, level 4, does have the Shackle and a Hex. 3-man snowball in towards FBZ. They quickly right-click him down. There is a charge coming up here, but it's way too late to really do anything. They're still going to look for something, though. Mirana making a big rotation across. What can they actually find? Charge ends up being cancelled. Tims doesn't have a whole lot of mana, but he does have a wand and an enchanted mango, so he's okay. And they're going to give up on it. Cuckoo with the triple null talisman build. Everybody just seems to be buying triple stat items. Is Timbersaw going to buy bracers? No, he's just going to go for a Vanguard here. Alright. Seems to be doing just fine down bottom here. He's got a Chakram trying to burst the Slark, who does pop the Shadow Dance. Gabby with a little bit of mana left in the tank, but not too much. And Slark gonna have to go and just chill out in the trees. Oh, Cuckoo in big trouble. Gets hexed, shackled. He was too close. They are gonna get the snowball save off. Cuckoo might actually be able to escape this. The charge is going to do a bit of damage, but he's got stick charges. They've actually managed to kill off the shaman. Now they turn their attention over towards Kezcute. He gets blocked in by the ice shards. Bulldo's not going to help him with that, and one more auto attack will be a kill for Tims. Finds himself a double. I saw him queuing up this, wait, was it Tims queuing up the Necrobook on Tusk? Have I even... Wait, I haven't cast any TNC games yet. There was somebody else buying, wanting to buy Necrobook on Tusk, but it looks like Tims is committing to it here. So the idea is that it synergizes with Tag Team, right? Just kind of interesting. Surprised we haven't seen Tusk with like Illusion Heroes. Oh, Dreamcoil drop. Mirana snaps the coil. It's brought down without any opportunity to do anything. Jokum on the run. This path gets blocked by the shards, but he just saunters back to the tower. He's going to be fine. Over at mid lane, they're looking at Armel, but Armel's looking at this tower with a double damage rune. FBZ does have a primal split available, but not having the most fantastic of game, and he just gets right-clicked down! FBZ did not anticipate the damage from the Morphling. 3 points in the adaptive strike, and Armel just finds a totally free kill. Oh no, Boom ID, not like this. Makoto TP's in mid, but Armel immediately morphs into him, and now he's looking for this kill with the arrow. Continues pursuit up on the high ground. Tims is looking towards Jokum, blocks him in. Armel coming up here. One auto attack is not going to be able to do it. He's looking for the adaptive strike. He does get it out now, so interrupting the shackle immediately as well. Tims low on HP. Brewmaster also coming over. Armel knocking him back with the stun, and Tims has found a snowball target. He might even be out of here. There is a charge. Okay, that should be the end of Tims. And diving in. They had the thunderclap, but not using it. Tims is still alive. One more auto attack from the Mirana. Cost him a couple of leaf charges. I think FBZ could have just secured that with the thunderclap, but... Alright, in the end, they get a slight turnaround, but Armel still getting a bunch of gold. And TNC now sitting on a comfortable 3k net worth lead. Timbersaw still just chilling at bottom. Slark is finding okay farm. He's just going to be going for some phase boots this game. Armel, pretty standard build as well. Going to be going for some treads. Morbid Mask. Albeit Dragonlance TP in from Cuckoo, but it's this is an insanely long... Yeah, he doesn't even bother finishing it. Cuckoo's just like, what am I even doing here? Just cancels the TP. Mid tower is going to end up being denied. They pop the Moonlight Shadow. They want this Armel Morphling, but he's got 1400 HP, and the Global Silence comes out to save him. Gets the waveform a little bit further away. There is an arrow available. They're locking down Armel. Looking for the follow-up. There's another shackle. Armel will finally be brought down. Hex from Jokum. They also end up losing the Silencer. Ninja Boogie dying down bottom. Getting picked off by the Spark. Over back at mid, though. Cuckoo now making the rotation. Gets the two-man Dreamcoil out. FBZ gonna try for the TP. Nothing to interrupt it. Tims had already used everything that he had. So, they get a slight turnaround at mid, but they force a bunch of TPs. That's gonna create some nice space for Slark to find some farm down on the bottom side of the map. But this Cuckoo Puck still pretty darn big, even with all of these little items that he's bought. He's very close to a Blink Dagger. And that is if he wants to go for Blink first. Also a decent game to go for a Veil, perhaps, but actually going to be going for a Force Staff. Alright. I like the idea. Good against the Slark, even pretty good against the Shaman as well. Like, Shadow Shaman gets the lockdown on one of your teammates, chuck the Force Staff on them, get them back into a slightly better position. Ooh. We need to be careful. Doesn't have any vision up this hill. Tims is actually going to be the one in danger. It's caught out. 3 heroes waiting for him up the high ground. He might be able to get the ice shards down onto the low ground, however. No, actually just going to turn around and look for a kill here instead. He's still got wand charges, but gets bashed, so he won't be able to use them. Tims... Cuckoo, sorry, goes for the quick D-ward. They did pop a sentry ward down up here, but I don't think Boom are going to be too concerned about that. Mirana just now going back for a Maelstrom. Armel still farming nicely. Is actually going to be going for a Lincoln Sphere this game after what happened in that that previous fight. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of this. I mean, it is going to prevent him from like being charged easily, so he will feel a little bit safer just kind of farming on really really high agi, but I don't know. As far as team fights go, I think he's still going to have to get the BKB at some point this game. So maybe just a Dragonlance BKB kind of a build would have also been an option. TNC smoking up. Can they actually do this? This is a really bold play, but I don't know, with the tag team, everybody is actually hitting really hard. And Tim's just buying a couple of salves just for this play. This is the kind of new patch stuff that I want to see. Oh, Tim's didn't actually get much of that salve. Oh, alright, needs to wait. There's the tag team. Armel. He's healing quite a bit with the Morbid Mass. Are they actually going to get this? This is taking a little while, but they're defending bottom with Gabby. They got another tag team in 1 second. Just splitting the damage around. Cuckoo also going to come in. He can help and tank this, and there you go. There is no way that you would look at this TNC lineup and think, oh hey, they can Roshan at 14 minutes into the game. Like, it does sometimes happen with Morclin. Jokum in trouble at bottom. Pop down the Mass Serpent Wards. It's going to get focused down. Cuckoo does come TPing in and just immediately dies, however. They were waiting for him. And now their charge comes through. They're also going to pop the Primal Split. Tim's nice snowball, going to buy a couple of seconds. But there is going to be another Hurl Boulder off cooldown as soon as he comes out, so he gets locked down. Gabby's still doing his best just to drive everybody back with the damage. The tower also helping a little bit, but he gets finished off. And now Tusk trapped inside of the trees. Tim's is just going to get punched down by the Brewmaster. No, he gets pushed out of his charge. Armel sitting here, taking a lot of damage, but still morphing just as much strength. And Gabby's still fighting, though now he's low on mana. Armel's going to be back. What can he do? Fervian does have the ultimate available, getting these stacks going. The Timbersaw is tanky, but he doesn't really care too much. Does jump himself away now. And in the end, the Aegis gets popped. It's just... wait, Cuckoo also died in this fight, right? So ends up being like a 3-for-1 trade, plus they got the tower. TNC, I guess, feeling bold because they had the Aegis, but I don't know if they needed to take that fight up. And Ninja Boogie getting killed off up top. They don't even have the Shadow Blade on the Slark just yet, but Fervian still manages to find Ninja Boogie and bring him down. Nice, another permanent Agi stack going for him. But yeah, I don't know. I think the bottom tier 1 tower should have been the price that they paid for taking that Roshan. And I think trying to defend that as well as get the Rosh is a little bit greedy. They still need to wait a little bit for Armel to really come online. FBZ's got a Blink Dagger now. He's going to be going for a Vlad's up next. Boom starting to pick up the pace a little bit more. Jokum not too far away from his Aetherland, which is certainly nice. Marana about to pick up the Maelstrom. So, a couple of items getting grabbed across the board. Gabby goes for the Vanguard and is now going to be going back for Bloodstone. So the interesting thing about the new Bloodstone is that it's not necessarily an all-inclusive, like, mana regen problem fixer. Because what it does actually multiply your mana regen now. So if you have another mana regen item, I think it's quite good. If he's got the Lotus or the Yules or something like that. But the Bloodstone itself might not be a complete solution if he gets it and then dies not too long after that. But the active is going to be pretty sweet in terms of keeping him alive in these fights. So definitely got to keep an eye out for that. I don't even know what the visual looks like. I guess we'll have to try and see.
Dire are scanning.
Is he just chilling, staying together? Tim's almost has this Necro Book. And I mean, he's very much playing for the Necro Book with this maxed out tag team build. Cuckoo has his Force Staff, so doesn't have to be too worried about the pounce, but he does have to be worried about a long range shackle from the Shadow Shaman. X also a possibility. Cuckoo running forward. Gabby also linking up with him. TNC, they've got the Slark in the back lines. He's found out Ninja Boogie will be able to finish him off quickly. Fervian just pops the Shadow Dance and he's running out of here. KezQ just charging through just to try and keep his Slark alive, but looks like Slark's going to be just fine. Gets that free kill, gets the free stack, and then gets himself out. TNC looked like they wanted to make a play, but just don't end up finding anything. The Mass Serpent Wards do get deployed for whatever reason, but not too big of a deal. I wonder if we'll start to see Midas more as this patch goes on. The patch feels fast, but at the same time it feels like heroes are some heroes that are accustomed to having a ton of levels are kind of struggling in the levels department a bit. I'm just looking at this Brewmaster and seeing that he's, you know, only level 10 at the moment, 18 minutes in. But I don't know, the Midas might be a bit greedy. Feels like a lot of games are ending around 20-30 minutes. But anyway, they're kind of dangling Armel as bait down here. Boom, taking control over the Radiant jungle a little bit, but only the one observer ward. I think they may have seen that there were some other heroes down here behind Armel, so I'm not willing to try for anything. Fervian is just going to be going for an Echo Saber. Standard stuff. Cuckoo's got his Blink Dagger picked up. Lots of farm on this puck, but haven't really seen too much out of him in the last couple of fights. Like that bottom fight, he just TP'd in and died straight up. It was a nice arrow attempt, actually. Almost caught Armel in the face. But game stabilizing a little bit. Net worth actually moving back over in the Boom ID direction. Makoto going to be going for a BKB. Seems like Boom are lining up for some kind of a timing before too long.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I know that there's a ward up here, courtesy of their Slark, certainly helping them out in terms of maintaining map control.
Dire's structures are
Shadowblading forward is the Slark.
bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, Animated Bounty Runes are up for grabs. They are going to try for this Timber Saw. They managed to interrupt his Timber Chain. Now the Nether Strike coming through. They're still hanging on to it. Global Silence gets popped. That's going to save him for now. Tim's also coming in. Cuckoo drops a two-man Dream Coil. Big trouble for the Slark as he now gets punched. Good night, Boom ID. They wanted the Bounty Rune and then they got greedy for that kill on this 2k HP Timbersaw, and they're both just going to end up being charges for the Bloodstone. They felt so confident with all of this, like they have all this vision in the area and whatnot, and they interrupted the Timber Chain, but it just kind of turned out to be a bit of a bait. I mean, Gabby still even had the Blood Pact, so I don't think he was really in too much danger. Okay, so Global Silence is down. Dream Coil, not a super long cooldown, but I think this should be an opportunity for Boom ID to go and make a play. They've got the Primal Split, which they should be eager to use, but FBZ is just kind of showing at bottom lane at the moment. It would make sense to me that they bring multiple heroes down to bottom, but maybe they're just not feeling confident about pushing into these tier 2s. There's still a tier 1 to be claimed up top, so that might be the softer target, but it seems like for now they're just gonna kind of let TNC get away with using the Global Silence like that. Ninja Boogie does come in here and get the 1D ward, but oh, he's gonna get the other one as well, it looks like. Man, very nicely done by Boogie. Tim's 21 minutes in, finally has this Necrobook. I want to see the synergy with this tag team. I'm interested. Okay, Boom finally going for this smoke now.
Radiant
They got the lanes in a slightly better position. What kind of fight can they actually find? Ninja Boogie's going to break the smoke up here on the high ground. Fervian finds him. Not really that important that they lose the silence here. They need to keep everybody else alive, though. Tim's trapped inside of the Mass Serpent wards. Armel gets up onto the high ground. He's morphed into the Mirana. Tim's about to be brought down. Armel looking to do what he can. Gabby's just getting controlled in this fight. Sent up into the air. It's only the support's dead so far on the side of TNC. Not the worst situation in the world. FBZ comes back out of the Primal Split and will just blink himself away. Really not a big fight. They did buyback on Ninja Boogie, but just ends up being support deaths on either side and not really a whole lot claimed. This is now maybe a bit of an opportunity for TNC, in fact. We got Dream Coil in 40 seconds. Silencer's got his Global Silence available. So the momentum shifting back the other way is Slark now a little bit of a target. Let's have his Echo Saber completed. Yeah, Mirana still working on that BKB. Needs a little bit more. Birdmaster actually has 2k gold. Going to be going for Radiance up next. It's not an enormously valuable Radiance game, but I guess he's just thinking about the pace of the game right now and starting to scale a little bit better. Does seem like he might be going for a little bit more of the right-click oriented build. We've been seeing the attack speed more than we've been seeing the HP to Primal Split units so far this patch. I mean, I've only seen so many Brewmaster games, but that has been the trend. And yeah, it seems like FBZ is content to just keep on shoving out these side lanes. That really seems to be his role here. They do have I would say that they have slightly weaker team fight than TNC. All things considered, their heroes are kind of a bit more pick-off oriented.
Salamene smiles upon me.
Yeah, back to a little bit of a lull. Okay, so Gabby's got his Yule Scepter now, so his mana regen is through the roof. FBZ's looking at him here, but I really don't think that they have the damage. Need the Mirana or the Slark down here to actually find this kill. Armel, number 1 on net worth. He's completed that Lincoln Sphere. Now going to be going back for a Manta style. Kind of an old school Morphling build, but he seems like he has the space for it. Still number 1 on net worth. Cuckoo also going to be going for a Necro Book up next. Okay, interesting.
Shadows take
Now a smoke. Moonlight Shadow gets popped on the Boom ID side. We do have some sentries, but no dust. Sentry gets put down. They spot the Mirana, but she just leaps away. So smoke gank gets completely revealed up top. Slark going toe-to-toe with Armel, but can't really kill him. So TNC gonna just come up here and push a little bit.
Got it.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I got a BKB's finished for the Mirana now. That's gonna help in these upcoming fights. They're just leaving Gabby to push this top tower. It's not charged or anything. He does have the 100 damage talent now, so he can actually kind of push tier 2s. TNC heading into the Roshan pit. Trying for this tag team play once again. Cuckoo spots the ward, but needs to be careful about what he does. FBZ jumps in. Quickly gets silenced. Arrow is going to go scouting. Does catch the Roshan, but that's about it. They pop the Primal Split. Can they actually find any kills? They've got the lockdown onto Tim's. They also deploy the Mass Serpent wards, but Tim's is just going to buy back, and now they should be able to wait so long as Gabby doesn't get focused down too quickly. He's got some reactive armor stacks. Just staying up here on the high ground, playing next to the wards. FBZ out of the Primal Split. They land a nice arrow, but the Mirana is somewhat split up from her team here, depending on how the fight ends up playing out. I like this play from Slark. He goes mid, shoves the wave in, applies some pressure to TNC to get them to split up, and it looks like neither team really going to be able to take the Roshan after all is said and done, but continues to mostly be support pickoffs so far this game. Not a whole lot else happening. Gabby gonna give away a couple more stacks to the Slark. Fervian building up some damage. Armel's in the pit. They're going to drop the Dream Call onto the Slark. They've got the silence on him as well. He's looking for an angle, but he can't even get anything off. Forced into the buyback immediately. FBZ doesn't have the ultimate. TNC are just surrounding him, and he's also going to end up falling. This is a terribly split fight for Boom ID. The Mirana and the Spirit Breaker over on the wrong side of the pit, and TNC are just moving as a ball, going from target to target. They isolate the Spirit Breaker. They do manage to get a little bit of a catch onto the Tim's Tusk. He gets one last Walrus Punch off before he goes down, as now the Spirit Breaker also buying back into this game. They bought back on FBZ, but they have to keep this Slark alive. He's got the Shadow Dance. But as discussed earlier, there's just so much AoE damage from the Timbersaw. Doesn't really care so much. Jokum also brought down. He's got some spells to use. Arrow gets tanked by Armel, but Cuckoo's already dead. These crits are coming through from FBZ. Armel's morphing strength for dear life as the Slark now comes back in. Once again, he focuses onto Boogie. Brewmaster low, but not dead yet. Finally drops Fervian, looking for more targets. Armel jumping around the best that he can. Cuckoo's found a little hidey hole in the trees. This fight just relentlessly continuing. Gabby has a couple more nukes, finish that kill. Still just feeling so difficult to focus on. And now they've got the Dream Coil out. This is trouble for Slark. Has to kind of wait this one out. Finds the opportunity, doesn't end up breaking the coil, but he's so low on mana. And Gabby, I think, still wants to chase, misses the Timber Chain though. And maybe a little bit caught out by some of those new map changes. I don't know. That already thought there were some trees in this direction, but after all is said and done, TNC's still going to win the fight. Still going to go back into Roshan. Slark trying to reset. Need to be careful to get the silence onto the Shadow Shaman. Should be able to finish him before he gets off any spells. He's now dead. TNC willing to just run out of the pit, get the kills, and then go right back into Roshan. Tim's coming over. Pops the tag team, but actually needs to stay next to Roche for that to do any damage. There you go. Alright. So if this tag team Tusk Necrobook thing is legit, then surely letting Tusk Dazzle through into the pool is just a disaster. If you get both of those two heroes and this strategy is somehow just too strong, then seems like a pretty much 100% uptime Necrobook with the tag team is pretty darn scary. Though, as we're seeing, you know, Tim's is still just kind of dying in these fights, so feels a little bit gimmicky to me, but we'll have to see. The mana burn seems to be pretty annoying. Slark's already having some mana issues, and I feel like the Necrobooks are only exacerbating that, but TNC, now with an 8k lead. I got the Aegis and Cheese on their Morphling. He's going to be going for a Butterfly next. Timbersaw turning out to be a pretty nice pick this game. I mean, they picked the Slark into him as well, so I feel like that kind of helped. I think they mostly picked it for the lane against Brewmaster, but that matchup didn't even end up happening, and Gabby's been just fine. Another nice thing about buying all these Necrobooks is it helps to make up for a little bit of a lack of push on the TNC side. Sure, Morphling can hit buildings, but Puck and Timber not exactly renowned for it, so the Necrobook's going to help in that capacity. Tim's not even going to be leveling it up. Just wants to go for a Blink Dagger now. Clark, BKB next, definitely important. Boogie just wants a gem for some map control. TNC actually inside of the base trying to force back Boom. Armel morphing over into the Brewmaster. Primal Split gets popped. They do get the lockdown onto Gabby. Can they focus him? They need the actual damage dealers to arrive. Slark now here on the scene. Global Silence gonna get popped. Trying to get Gabby out of here, and he's still pretty damn tanky. He even turns around for a Chakram and a Whirling Death before he chains out. They force the BKB out of the Mirana and a couple of leaps. Not having a very fun time with that fight. And the TNC just taking complete control over this high ground. Amel with another Drunken Brawler. Doesn't have the morph anymore. Uku with Necro 3. And they've got this gem picked up, so huge amounts of map control for TNC. Fervian comes in for a few more stacks, but it just doesn't seem like they can kill Gabby. Armel jumps through. FPZ no ultimate, so just have to come in with the auto attacks. They force out Fervian in. He's in trouble. He manages to get the Dark Pact and the Shadow Dance out into the BKB as well, right-clicking onto Armel, but it's not doing enough damage. Armel waveforms in. He's looking for this kill on Joku. He gets it. He's still got the Aegis. They're hexing him down, but TNC are still just surviving through everything. And it feels like Boom just aren't doing any damage whatsoever. TNC standing strong on the high ground. They got their 2 catapults here with them. That is the first tier 3 tower taken out, and they're still going for it. Slark tries to engage, but there's too many nukes. He just gets forced back immediately. Dreamcoil catches out onto one. It's only for Kezcute. He's got the bulldoze, so would have been okay against the stun, but still trapped for a little bit. Armel just man fighting under the racks as Gabby is the wall, preventing them from getting any closer. And Boom ID just can't make anything happen. You look at this Mirana and he's just pacing around back and forth on the sidelines of the fight. Cannot do anything, it seems. Really needed to get some more out of that Primal Split, and now TNC, Armel in big trouble. Kind of getting left behind by his team a little bit here. Got the waveform soon, but his Lincoln Sphere is on cooldown. They're going to wait with the arrow, and Armel will be brought down. Did he try and TP and then it got cancelled by the Ancients, or maybe not even that? Maybe he just waveformed through, got fruited by the Ancients, and then down he went. Okay, so still very nice kill for Boom, but TNC is still very much in the lead in this game. I don't even know what Boom do. FPZ's gone for a pipe now, even picking up the 20% magic resist talent. How much does that even help? So Whirling Death is always pure now. Timbersaw actually just does pure damage. He doesn't do any magical damage anymore. There's some magical damage from the Puck. This tag team is physical. Morphling's nuking a little bit, but he's mostly right-clicking. I am skeptical of this pipe. Maybe it's something to do with his Blink Dagger getting cancelled, so he can use the pipe barrier to protect his Blink, but I don't know. Slark wants a Shadow Blade. That's going to be somewhat helpful here, though. Gabby already having a lot of stacks in most of these fights. He's got 25 Bloodstone charges, so more mono regen than he knows what to do with, and he's now going to be going back for a BKB. So if you thought that Boom were having trouble killing him before, wait until he gets that BKB.
Behold!
And Boom just content to fall back into this kind of all three cores farming, nobody really pressuring all that much kind of spot. They're going to be teaming up the two supports down here at bottom. Got a Blink Dagger on the Shadow Shaman. He's reasonably farmed. But what is it actually going to end up doing? And TNC just chilling. Do we have this butterfly on the Morphling yet? No. So I'm actually just going to decide to go for a BKB as well. So multiple BKBs coming in. Cuckoo goes for another Lincoln's, so life is just miserable now for Spirit Breaker and Shadow Shaman, who represent pretty much all of the, well, not all of the lockdown from Boom ID, but a significant portion of it. Tim's even has the Blink Dagger for some snowball saves, so that's certainly nice. And TNC, just some disciplined Dota. Buy BKBs, kill shrines. Puck, trying to scout out this smoke. They do get a little bit of lockdown onto him, but they've got the global silence to interrupt, so now they've got the turnaround. Cuckoo comes out of that phase shift and just looks to turn. They've already brought down Jokum. They've got a nice Dream Coil out onto 2, and they force staff him as well to prevent the primal split. I believe that was Cuckoo. Oh, such a nice play from Cuckoo. Dream Coil the Brewmaster, push him to break the Dream Coil. Can't get the primal split off. Armel now finding a triple as they also catch up to Kezcute and bring him down.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
TNC with all of the cute but very impactful plays this game. Going for the early Roshan with the tag team, this fast 4-staff on the Puck. All working out great. Gabby getting locked down, but he does still have those stacks. So the Silver Red's not really doing a huge amount. Slark getting big, but doesn't really matter. Coming in here, looking for the Mirana. Hasn't been forced to pop BKB just yet, but Gabby seeming just fine. Already level 25, has that bonus Timber Chain range. Armel taking out the top tier 2 tower, now heading in towards the tier 3. Boom ID, can they mount a defense? They've got the Brewmaster up in 5 seconds. He does have a primal split available. Slark looking for a target. What can they find? Arrow not going to connect. Boogie hanging back. Doesn't have a global silence. FBZ needs to be careful. There's the silence from Cuckoo. They've probably still got that 4-staff as well. They don't even need it. They've got the punch. Tim blocking him down. Buyback now from the Brew. TNC not retreating just yet, though. Joking going to try for a TP out, but he gets sliced down by the Whirling Death, and he used his buyback in the previous fight, so he doesn't have it now. Timbersaw in some trouble. Chains away, though. He's going to be just fine. Slark whiffing on the pounce. Mirana still has her BKB. Slark still has BKB. Timbersaw with 29 Bloodstone charges. Just going to retreat back quickly. He's also got the cheese in reserve. And TNT. They didn't finish off this shrine a little bit earlier, so we'll just go back for it now. But they've got quite a bit of money to spend, especially on this Timber. Is he even gonna... might not even bother going for the BKB, just queuing up a Hex at the moment. Not as strong as it used to be against the Slark, but still certainly very helpful to have against the Mirana. And the other heroes. And I mean, it's not like it's impossible to Hex Slark. You can just wait out the Dark Pact duration and then get him. Oh, and we have another Roshan. Why not? Alright. Aegis Cheese Refresher Shard coming up. I don't know who they give the Refresher to. Maybe just Boogie? Double Global Silence feels pretty backbreaking in this situation. Cuckoo off scouting. Vision, not the most amazing for TNC, but they still get this pretty easily. Boomer out here under the cover of Moonlight Shadow, but it's not going to last that much longer. But they do have at least the one ward to get the catch onto the Spirit Breaker. Can he get anything off? Cuckoo jumps in, lands the silence. Spirit Breaker buying back into the game. Mirana trying to find an angle, but just can't do anything. Once again, pacing back and forth on the sidelines of the fight is a Slark. Gonna get Dream Coiled up, does manage to break it and keep on running with the Dark Pact, as Boom will look to make their defense up on this high ground, but FTZ getting isolated as the Panda won't be able to get the blink out, now silenced up by the last word, swarmed by TNC and brought down. So no Brewmaster, they've bought back on the Spirit Breaker. They were really hoping that somebody was going to come chasing up this hill and they can find some kind of a turnaround, but TNC know where their objective is. They want this top tier 3, they want this top lane of Rax, and it looks like at this point Boom ID can't really do anything to deter them from that. Arana lobs out a wild arrow, just kind of hoping. They're looking at this timber once again. Gabby getting pushed inside of the building. He gets force staffed away. He's going to be okay. Global Silence #1 coming out. I don't actually know where the refresher shard is right now. It's in the inventory of Cuckoo. They've lost 3 so far. Makoto kept alive by his BKB, but not for too much longer. They do manage to get the break over onto the timber, but the damage just doesn't feel like it's doing anything from Slark. He's not actually able to kill anybody. All 3 of TNC's cores are just kind of laughing at him. And TNC now just going for the mega creeps. A little bit longer than we've seen some of the games this patch, but TNC firmly in control. 25k lead. Dota Plus giving it to them 89-11, and Slark feeling like he has to come and get some stacks. Pops the BKB now as well, but he's just not doing any damage to Gabby. Gabby still got the cheese. He's giving away 34 stacks. Nice Dream Coil now from Cuckoo right as Ferbian jumps. He breaks the coil. Now he's locked down and he's dead. GG has been called. And TNC are going to be taking game 1 here in this best of 3 series for your playoffs in the Chongqing Major SCA qualifiers. Whew.